I have got to a point. Oh, it's the reigning champion. Evening, Frankie. So what adventures has Gwen been on so far this week? Oh. Yeah. So round one tonight is What the Duck. So there are going to be various pictures with someone obscured with a large rubber duck. And you've got to guess who has been obscured from the picture. We have the Toto round, the Return of the Compass round, and the Poker Face round at the end. Now, the Poker Face round, I will give you the title of a real film, but I'll then describe the plot of a film, which may or may not be the plot of the film. I will tell you who's in the film. So the actors and actresses I mentioned are legitimately in that film, but you've got to guess whether that's the real plot or it's a fake plot. So the answer for that is grab me some popcorn or give it a rest, Danny, as your true or false answers. I think we possibly might have everyone that we're going to get by now. I'll just check the people online. Everyone ready on YouTube? It looks like everyone's ready on Zoom. Yeah? Okie doke. So everyone entering your team name and we'll go on to the first round of What the Duck. Who is hiding Mr. Duck in question one? A nice classic boy band pose. Who is that that's hiding behind Mr. Duck? I get a feeling that Brad might have had poster up on his wall. Possibly might still have. Okay. Question two. Which Avenger has assembled behind Mr. Duck? So you need to have a close look at that picture. Which Avenger has assembled behind Mr. Duck? Now, some of these, there's a slight clue in the question. Okay. 3. Who isn't being very friendly behind Mr. Duck? Who isn't being very friendly behind Mr. Duck in question 3? All of these are the character names. Okay, all of them are the character names. Alex thought it was the, which possibly may or may not have been a better character name for him. Question 4. Which long-serving barmaid is hiding in this picture? Question 4. Which long-serving barmaid is hiding in this picture? Question 5. Which EastEnder did Mr. Duck find hiding in the attic at the Queen Vic? Which EastEnder did Mr. Duck find hiding in the attic at the Queen Vic? Okay. Question 6. Who is literally flirting with religion? So these are all the character names. Who is literally flirting with religion? Okay. If you haven't seen it, it's really funny, and touching and funny. Okay. Question 7. Who did Mr. Duck find at the job centre? Who did Mr. Duck find at the job centre? I suppose technically it wasn't actually a job centre, but question 8. Which violent cat is hiding behind Mr. Duck? It's going to be a 50-50 for most of you. Which violent cat is hiding behind Mr. Duck? Don't look, Gwen, don't look. Okay. Question 9. Who looks like they could do with an ice cream? Who looks like they could do with an ice cream? Also looks like he's possibly wet himself. Okay. And question 10. Which Teletubby is hiding behind Mr. Duck? I've even given you the options there as well, just to make it a little bit easier. Question 10. Which... it was a little bit racy though, that one. Okay. Question 11. Most of the rounds will have 11 questions in it, with it being and returning everything up to 11. Who is hiding their bottom? Is it Eddie Hitler or Richie Richard? Who is hiding their bottom? Okay. Round 2 is elementary, my dear Watson, and we're going to talk about the periodic table. Now, to be fair, I went through this with my son and he got a few of them right. So, the last column of the periodic table contains gases. What are they commonly called? The posh gases, the kind gases, the noble gases, or the unruly gases? What is the last column of the periodic table called? Question 13. Krypton is a real element, true or false? Krypton is a real element, true or false? Spot the odd elements out of calcium, sodium, lithium, and potassium. My wife got this wrong, and she actually measures these for a living. which is the odd one out, but my son got it right. Okay, question 15. Na is the symbol for sodium. True or false? Na is the symbol for sodium. True or false? Question 16. I've always stumbled saying this. Let's have a go for it. Element 104, Rutherfordium, was discovered by Genesis guitarist Mike Rutherford whilst doing his PhD. True or false? Was that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire cough there, Jen? Element 104, Rutherfordium, was discovered by Genesis guitarist Mike Rutherford whilst doing his PhD. True or false? A little picture to help you out. Okay. Platinum is to the left of gold in the periodic table, but which element sits to the right? Could it be carbon, xenon, potassium, or mercury? So what sits to the right of gold in the periodic table? The symbols for elements are either one letter or two letters. Which of the following elements has a two-letter symbol? Is it carbon, nitrogen, chlorine, or oxygen? Now, which of has a symbol that is based on a Latin name rather than a recognizable name? So the actual symbol code bears no relationship to the name that you've got on screen. So is that zinc, iron, magnesium, or lithium? So which one of those has a code, a symbol that bears no relationship to its name? Diamonds are a girl's best friend, but they are also made from what element? Are they made from carbon, zirconium, silicon, or selenium? What element are diamonds made from? A shortage of what element can cause thyroid disease as well as protect against nuclear fallout? Which element is it? Is it fluorine, chlorine, bromine, or iodine? If you'd watched Chernobyl, you might have an answer on this one. Okay. This last structure is called a Buckminster fullerene. It is made from the same element. True or false? Is that made from the same element as diamond? Of a football with its pentagons and hexagons. Okay, so next section is Toto, a round all on Africa and a potentially very questionable travel agent. But you'll get to those questions a little bit later. So we'll start off with our first question on Africa. The Paris-Dakar Rally starts in France and in which African country? So basically, where is Dakar? Is it Morocco, Algeria, or Senegal? So where is Dakar? Okay. Question 24, the first of the travel agent round questions. Your silly travel agent has booked you a beach holiday in Angola. Will you be swimming in the Atlantic, swimming in the Indian Ocean, or getting annoyed as it is a landlocked country? Will you be swimming in the Atlantic in Angola, swimming in the Indian Ocean, or getting annoyed as it is a landlocked country? Question 25. Your silly travel agent has been at it again. You've been booked into a hotel in Guinea instead of Equatorial Guinea. Are you okay, as it's the same place? Or are you in for a small drive or flight? Or are you screwed? You are booked into a hotel in Guinea instead of Equatorial Guinea. Are you in the same place? Or are they close together? Or are they miles apart? Guinea and Equatorial Guinea. Your silly travel agent is really testing your patience and insists you visit, okay, let's take a stab at this one, Buchanala land. You hesitantly agree to go there. Which country will you actually arrive in? This is an old name for this particular country. Is it Botswana, Burkina Faso, Burundi, or Benin? So the fact they're all starting with a B doesn't necessarily help you there, does it? Okay. You ask your silly travel agent for a trip to Brazil just to get away from Africa, but they mishear it as a request to go to Brazzaville. It is the capital of which country? Reese is asking whether this is based on a true story. No, Reese, I've made all of this up. So, is Brazil in the Democratic Republic? Yeah, I can see you. I'm getting some people back. Yeah, everyone back? Okay. So we've just had the Brazzaville question. Now, due to all your travel problems, your silly travel agent has lined up a free trip to Mali as compensation for you. Should you pack a travel dictionary? No, because English is the national language. Yes, pack a French dictionary. Or yes, pack a Portuguese dictionary. So Mali, what language do you think they speak in Mali? Would it be English, French, or Portuguese? Okay, question 29. You want to climb Mount Kilimanjaro because Helen has made a good job of saying it's an amazing trip. So you ask your travel agent to get you there. Where are they booking a trip to? Would it be Kenya, Sudan, Tanzania, or Mozambique? And I so hope I have the same answer as this one as Helen will. I am so hoping they're going to be the same answers. Okay. Question 30. It may surprise you that the brochures for this travel agent aren't particularly up to date. How recent must the brochures be to have references to South Sudan? Would they need to be more recent than 1981, 1991, 2001, or 2011? So when do you think South Sudan came into existence? Okay, here's a true or false. South Sudan is south of Sudan. True or false? South Sudan is south of Sudan. True or false? George Weah won the FIFA World Player of the Year in 1995. Now he is the president of what country? Would it be Senegal, Liberia, Cameroon, or Egypt? George Weah won the World FIFA Player of the Year in Where is he president now? Last one of the Toto round. The Congo River is the longest African river. True or false? And they don't drink umbongo. Okay. So that brings us to the end of the Toto round. And it's now the Compass round, US edition. Okay. You are in Kansas and you travel north. Which state do you enter first? Would it be Oklahoma, Nebraska, Texas, or Ohio? So you're in Kansas and you travel north. Which state do you enter first? Oklahoma, Nebraska, Texas, or Ohio? Okay, question 35. You start a road trip in California and head east on the southernmost edge of California. Which state do you enter? Would it be Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona, or Texas? Bearing in mind you're leaving California from the southernmost edge. Okay. You hire a boat in Alabama and follow the coast east, but you refuse to land in Florida. So what is the first state you can step on dry land if you're following around the coastline east, not stopping on Florida? Would it be South Carolina, Oregon, Maine, or Georgia? All I can think is, oh, Carolina. Okay. Question 37. You are in Michigan and travel west. Will you get wet? Yes or no? You're in Michigan and you travel west. Will you get wet or not? Question 38. You are in a bar in South Carolina. A drunk local makes a bet with you and says he can walk due east from South Carolina and end up in North Carolina. Is he right? You start in the south and you head east and you end up in the north. Is he right, or is he just terribly, terribly drunk? Okay. Question 39. Which of the following states does not border Canada? Is it Washington, Montana, Minnesota, North Dakota, Idaho, or Wyoming? Which one of those does not border Canada? Canada. You start in a US state. Is it possible to travel in any direction to leave the state you are in and not enter another US state? Is it possible to be in a US state and leave that state in any direction and not end up in another US state? So you can make that direction in any direction and you still don't end up in another US state. Is that possible? Yes or no? Is it possible to travel east from Virginia into West Virginia? Is it possible to travel east from Virginia into West Virginia? Yes or no? You have finished the sites in New York and you want to travel south, but don't want to go to Jersey. What is the only other option? Is it going to Maine, going to Vermont, Connecticut, or Pennsylvania? So what are the options for traveling south from New York? Which state only borders one other US state? Would it be Washington, Florida, Texas, or Maine? Which US state is only connected to only one other US state? Washington, Florida, Texas, or Maine? And the last one of the compass round, how many states have compass directions as part of their name? Is it 5 states, 4 states, 3 states, or 2 states? So how many do you think have a compass name as part of their name? And we've mentioned a couple of them during these questions. Okay. The poker face round. So I'm going to mention a film title. I will describe the plot. Now, the film title is 100% genuine. The actors and the actresses that I mention for this particular film are also 100% genuinely in that film. What you've got to decide is whether my description actually describes the film in question or not. So if you think it is describing the film, then you respond with, grab me some popcorn. If you think I am pulling your leg, then you answer, give it a rest, Danny. Okay, so the first one is a film called Kiss the Girls. It's all about a girl who was abused as a child. Years later, she's in a car accident and the repressed feelings resurface, which sparks her into tracking down her abuser for revenge. That's Kiss the Girls. So do you think that's grab me some popcorn, because that's the real plot? Or do you think that's a give it a rest, Danny? Okay, so let's move on to 46. Black Sheep. It's all about a city boy who returns to the family farm and ends up fighting genetically modified zombie sheep. Do you think that's a give me some popcorn or give it a rest, Danny? Black Sheep. City boy returns to the family farm and ends up fighting genetically modified zombie sheep. A real plot or a made-up plot? Question 47. Restless Natives. A Western about the US Army causing the massacre of the Navajo tribe. Restless Natives. Is that give me some popcorn or give it a rest, Danny? Now, I have seen all 3 of these films so far. Okay. Chasing Amy is a rom-com where a bounty hunter is chasing a woman who has skipped on her credit card bills. Will he catch her? Will they fall in love? Is that a grab me some popcorn or give it a rest, Danny? Chasing Amy, a rom-com where a bounty hunter is chasing a woman who has skipped on her credit card bills. Will he catch her? Will they fall in love? Question 49, Rounders, starring Matt Damon. This is a culture class rom-com. An American executive visits the British office and gets dragged into playing a local game of rounders with the office against the rival company. Does he fall for the charms of the UK, or does his love of baseball overrule his heart? This is a Matt Damon film called Rounders. Is that a grab me some popcorn or give it a rest, Danny? A genuine film called Rounders, genuinely starring Matt Damon. Question 50. Can't Buy Me Love. Genuinely starring Dreamboat Patrick Dempsey from Grey's Anatomy. It's a rom-com. A nerd pays the most popular girl at school to be his girlfriend for a month in his quest to become popular. Can't Buy Me Love. A genuine film, genuinely starring Patrick Dempsey, the dreamboat from Grey's Anatomy. Is that give me some popcorn? What? Me being a nerd? Okay. Question 51. I won't say the bit because Gwen's around. Zach and Mary make a film. The plot being Zach and Mary make a film. Is that grab me some popcorn or give it a rest, Danny? Question 52. Tusk. A man intends to turn another man into a walrus. Is that grab me some popcorn or give it a rest, Danny? Tusk. A genuine film. A man intends to turn another man into a walrus. Starring Justin Lee. Pardon? Okay. Brother. Genuinely starring the Takeshi from Takeshi's Castle. A Japanese gangster film where two strangers come to understand brotherhood far more than actual brothers. So this is starring the Takeshi from the comedy game show on Challenge TV of Takeshi's Castle. Is it a Japanese gangster film where two strangers come to understand brotherhood far more than actual brothers? Okay. Question 54. Infernal Affairs. Picture perfect family is torn apart by a string of affairs by a husband who won't take no for an answer and a wife who will stop at nothing to keep her family together at all costs. Infernal Affairs. A picture perfect family is torn apart by a string of affairs by a husband who won't take no for an answer and a wife who will stop at nothing to keep her family together at all costs. Is that grab me some popcorn or give it a rest, Danny? Is that grab me some popcorn or give it a rest, Danny? Question 55. Better Off Dead. A teenager has to deal with his girlfriend dumping him among family crises, homicidal paper boys, and a rival skier. Better Off Dead. A teenager has to deal with his girlfriend dumping him among family crises, homicidal paper boys, and a rival skier. Is that grab me some popcorn or give it a rest, Danny? So, question 56, Election. Genuinely starring Reese Witherspoon and genuinely starring Matthew Broderick. Is the plot, one is a Democrat, one is a Republican. This race is going to the wire, but can love cross the political divide? Election. Genuinely starring Reese Witherspoon and genuinely starring Matthew Broderick. Is it about a Democrat and a Republican and a race that is going to the wire, but can love cross the political divide? Question 57. The King of Kong, a documentary focused mainly on the arcade game Donkey Kong. Is that Grab Me a Joystick or Give It a Rest, Danny? The King of Kong. Is that a documentary mainly focused on Donkey Kong? Okay. Question 58. Beautiful Girls, genuinely starring Uma Thurman, Myra Savino, and Natalie Portman. Is it all about a guy returning home for his high school reunion? Beautiful Girls. Is that Grab Me Some Popcorn or Give It a Rest, Danny? Question 59. Permanent Record, genuinely starring Keanu Reeves. Promising high school student gets caught up in a bad crowd. Can he get out before something really bad happens that jeopardizes his whole life? Permanent Record, a genuine Keanu Reeves film. Is that Grab Me Some Popcorn or Give It a Rest, Danny? Last one. Warm Bodies. Boy meets girl. Girl brings home boy to meet dad. Dad doesn't like boy, as boy is a zombie. A genuine John Malkovich film. Warm Bodies. Boy meets girl. Girl brings home boy to meet dad. Dad doesn't like boy, as boy is a zombie. Genuine John Malkovich film. Is that Grab Me Some Popcorn or is that Give It a Rest, Danny? There we go. That's the last one. Did you like the poker face round? Why is everyone muted? So what was your... So was Poker Face an interesting round? Okay. Okay, so I think I've got everyone's responses. So let's do some marking for you. So I think I've seen all of those films, and some of them are completely and utterly made up. That very first one of Kiss the Girls, I actually tried to convince Yuk Ching that was the genuine plot for that film, and then she believed me. It looks like everyone got Ross with various variations on spelling his name. So the barmaid was Carla from Cheers on that duck round. and the barman from EastEnders. I tried to give you a bit of a clue about the attic. It was lofty. Flirting with Religion was Fleabag, and if you haven't seen it, watch it. It is really good, funny, and also harrowing at the same time. But that, yes, basically, it's a Kevin Smith film, and it started out with them joking on a podcast, and it's also got because it's Justin Lee, the young lad from Dodgeball, is the person who's intended to get turned into a walrus. There's another one that he's done, and I can't remember the name for it, but it also involves a load of Nazis and something odd. But he's got his daughter in that. It's part of his Canadian trilogy. He's done some weird stuff. I just watched his Jay and Silent Bob get rebooted the other night. The job centre one was Pauline from League of Gentlemen. The person on the beach was Magnum from Magnum PI. Okay, everything's marked. Let's see if I can just now download to see who's got the highest score, because it looks like we've got a clear winner on 44 points. Or, or could it be Team Harris with the Toto round? Mm. It, it looks like the winner this week is Razor Quest. So that'll be the Grimshaws, I believe. We have Frankie plus one in in third place, with a joint second place of Baboom and Quiscam Gwen in silver. So the allegations of, yes, Matt is last by a considerable distance. Sorry, Matt. Last place on 23 points, and the next person's on 32. That's Lockdown Sucks. And then we've got Monkey Chunks next. Then Docu Mother Duckers. And then we've got He Wonder Walls. Do you think you'd ever go to that travel agent? Yay! So which one of the fake movie plots? Which of the... Okay, no. Take care, Neil. Cheers, Jen. Bye.